What's going on, people? Hopefully, I won't be too long with this video. Just want to talk to the so-called black people for a moment. One question I have for you, well, actually, there's quite a few questions that's in my mind regarding the shooting that took place in Philadelphia. But my first initial question would be to so-called black Americans is that why is it that you expect your enemy to protect you? Why do you expect your enemy, because you were the one that referred to police as your enemy and the enemy of black people. Now, I'm not saying all so-called black people think that way, but these are the same people that you want to demonetize. You want to demonetize law enforcement, but yet at the same time you expect law enforcement to protect you. The same law enforcement that you say F the police. These are the same people that you want to protect you. Now, law enforcement is not mental health officials. Law enforcement is not trained for mental health. They're law enforcement. They enforce the law. So why do you always expect law enforcement to be mental health officials and they supposed to stop doing their job to do the job of mental health officials? Does that make sense to you? Right? And another question I have, which I'm going to end up doing a separate video on this because it's mind-blowing to me that we're living in a time when it seems that everybody is bipolar. Everybody is schizophrenic. Everybody has got a mental health issue. What is the cause of all of these so-called mental health issues? And why is it that these so-called mental health issues are not brought to the forefront until they do something that invites law enforcement to take their life? After law enforcement take their life, now they have mental health issues. And where was the family of this dude that had these mental health issues? Why wasn't he locked up in a mental institution if he's violent like that? Now, according to an article I read, the dude was called to the house twice already before the last time when he got killed. So if this dude has got a history of domestic violence towards his moms, towards his baby moms, and a host of other crimes that this dude had committed, why didn't the family come together and put him in a mental institution? Why did you allow him to be out in the streets causing havoc? Now, law enforcement did their job. They protected civilians because had that dude lived, only God above knows whose life he would have taken. Perhaps his mom's, because he's got a history of putting his hands on his mother. Now, there's a verse in the Bible, and you always hear me quote it: honor your father and your moms, that your days might be long upon the earth. A lot of people ignore when it says that your days may be long upon the earth. This was divine judgment. Forget the judgment of man. Forget him going through the court systems. This was the divine judgment of God, because God sets his immutable, unchangeable laws in the universe. When you violate those laws act out against you automatically. Now, when it comes to questioning why all of these people now have mental issues and where these mental issues come from, and I'm just going to speak on this quite briefly, but I'm going to make a whole video on this topic of where mental health issues coming from in 2020. First of all, You got all these people out here smoking different types of drugs, different types of strands of marijuana, crack cocaine, all these drugs that they have out there, what they call novel drugs. They refuse to listen to people or the message to say, put these drugs away. Don't do drugs. You still take these drugs inside your body. Guess what? Those drugs has got an effect on your mental health abilities. And I didn't mean to say abilities, but it has an effect on your mind, right? And much of what we see going on is not so much as a mental health issue, it's more of a spiritual issue. But when you're out there doing drugs, you're drinking, you're taking all these poisons inside your body, you're popping pills, what do you expect to happen to your mental health? When you forget about God and you curse God, you curse the church, you curse the preachers, you curse the Bible, and then you start tampering and dabbling into witchcraft and sorcery and voodoo, hoodoo, and all these other dark arts, playing with Ouija board, tarot cards. What do you expect to happen when you invite unclean spirits or dark energy? When you open those portals and those dark energies come through, what do you expect is going to happen? So when we question about where is a lot of these mental health issues are coming from, right? And they love to blame black people. Black people are number one in everything, the first in everything, mental health, HIV, coronavirus, or what have you, anything negative, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer. Black people are number one. There's a reason behind that. But what this dude did invited death to himself. It was bound to happen. So now you fools are out there tearing up your own communities. This was no more than an excuse to loot and riot and break into other people's property. You care nothing about that dude. This is somebody you saw every single day, and a lot of y'all probably didn't like him in the first place. When he asked you for help, a lot of y'all turned your backs on him, kept walking. But now that he's dead, now you have an excuse to tear up your home. And when it comes to Philadelphia, Philadelphia is population black. The population in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is black people. Majority black people in Philly. So what's your excuse now? But, oh, wait a minute. But it's a Democrat city and a Democrat state. Democrat-run city and a Democrat-run state. But yet you're going to vote for Joe Biden, the same Democrats that's created the environment that you're in now. But you say that police should have shot this dude in the leg. When I watched that news article and I heard a few black people get in front of camera and say, that's like black people are proving themselves to be ignorant every single day. You guys shoot each other in the street just by looking at you. You could say something to somebody's woman not knowing that that's their woman, and you'll shoot them. But yet you expect police to shoot somebody in the head or become a mental health counselor while somebody is charging them with a knife. Somebody charged me with a knife, I'm putting them down. I'm going to stop them, even if it means them losing their life. It's my life against theirs. So the police reaction was correct. Self-defense. They defended themselves. If the mom couldn't control this dude, what make you think police was able to control this dude? The mother was trying to grab him and pull him back, and he was so out of control, going after the cops with a knife. What did you expect them to do? But yet you come up and say, He could have just shot him in the leg. He could have just tased him. He could have just did this. But yet, you've never been in that situation. And if you were in that situation, if you had a weapon, a firearm, you defended yourself. Whether the weapon was illegal or illegal, you defended yourself. But see, they retreated. They backed up. And dude came from around the car after them, and they did what they needed to do to protect themselves. So now y'all talking about what they should have done. Oh, he's got a mental health issue. And you know what? The family is probably rejoicing in themselves that this problem child is now gone. Now they're thinking about a paycheck. The same type of payday that this dude got when they put their knee in his neck. To keep them quiet, they now looking to get paid. They care less about this boy that got killed. He was a problem child. And now the moms don't have to worry about him breaking in her house, him getting upset when she tell him no, that he can't take her car, or she's not going to give him money, or she's not going to give him a cigarette. Now she ain't got to worry about that. She don't have to worry about now calling the police because he's now threatening her. Honor your father and your moms, that your days may be long. A lot of people leave that days may be long upon the earth out. And a lot of y'all leave out honor your fathers. See, you wonder why so many young black males and females are being gunned down by police when you dishonor your parents. This is no more than universal judgment that's coming upon you. And this got nothing to do with man. Has everything to do with you. And for y'all out there that's talking about they need to start treating you like humans, then maybe you should start acting like humans. You always want to compare yourself with white people. But how many white people you see out there with knives charging at police? And there were cases where it happened, and depending on the location and the police that's called to that scene, you know, some cops are patient and they'll talk the dudes down. But when it comes to black people, in most cases, you can't talk to black folk. You may be able to reason with a white person with a knife, but in most cases, you're not going to reason with a black dude with a knife that's charging at you violently. And that was a big dude. There was another dude that was shot too this past week, and cops took him down. He was a big dude. Dude reached in his clothes, pulled out a firearm. Cop shot him. Black people want to now start protesting. So when are black people going to start acting like humans? You want them to treat you like humans, but you act like animals. And a lot of y'all ain't going to like what I have to say. But it's tight, but it's right. You know? And for y'all out there that's talking about he should have shot him in the leg, he should have tased him, he should have did this, he should have did that, he's got a mental health issue. Well, that's not the police fault. That's not their responsibility. That's the family's responsibility to get that boy some help. But the family failed at getting that boy help, that young man. They failed getting him help. And now that he's killed, they want to say, oh, he's got mental health issues and he know no better. And the cops didn't have to shoot him. They should have just tried to talk to him. They should have just tased him or shot him in his leg. And if they had a shot that boy in his leg, the cops still would have been sued. Why'd you shoot him? Now you shot him in his leg, and guess what? You shoot somebody in the leg right there, you can be sued. Yes, you can be sued, and now you're going to have to pay the same person that attacked you. The same person that you tried to save their life, now you're being sued for trying to save that person's life by shooting them in the leg. Cops are not trained to shoot people in the legs. They trained to stop them when they become a threat to them. And the cops did their job. So, feedback, tell me what you think. Till next time. I'm fearless.